Okay, this video, I'm not sure if it's going to make it to the end because I'm not sure. I have an idea for this video, but it's um, it's as if you were in my room and I started talking to you about this deck and said, I'm not sure what's going on with this deck. And I want to know if this deck can be read intuitively. That's my question that I'm asking myself right now. And I may ask the cards if this deck can be read intuitively or how to read this deck intuitively. This deck, I have a whole series of Margaret Petersen, not a series, I mean just me reading the cards, trying to figure out what's going on with the cards, because I really like this deck, and it's got an amazing history to it. So I've been reading the Ben Doff book, which is the Marseille Revealed book, and it's a wonderful book for beginners, maybe even advanced, but it talks a lot about the cards, it talks a lot about intuitive reading of the cards, taking the meanings and then also kind of sparking your intuition. So I'm still reading that book. And I was thinking about Margaret Petersen, this deck, a while ago. And I was saying, how can this deck be read intuitively? Well, that can be read intuitively. And that's my challenge, I think. I mean, this is a wonderful book. And my insight into this deck is like it's how most tarot cards have the major arcana and then they have the minor arcana, and this deck feels to me to be all major arcanas, and it's so intense and it's so such care has been taken into each card and its meaning that to me it feels almost like a deck of major arcana, and so that's 78 cards of major arcana. That's a lot of heavy stuff going on here. So so what are some of the ways we could read this intuitively? One of the ways you could read it intuitively is through the colors. Now that's something that Ben Dov talks about. He talks a lot about colors. Like black would be hidden. That makes sense. Red would be fire, flames. Of course, she uses the colors to her advantage as well. Like this is a flames, the inspiration, the wand suit, and actually she calls them that way. So if you look at colors, that's one way to look at the deck. Another way to look at the deck is the personage on it, what that person is doing, where that person is looking, how the stride of the person, where this mediatrix, I'm not sure what card this is. This is obviously a major arcana. Let's see what card this is. It's been a while since I've looked at this book. I'm guilty. Guilty is charged. Is it Temperance or what is it? Matrix. Mediatrix. This is the one before the Devil, which is the Temperance. Yeah, it is Temperance, right? Yeah, Temperance. So, how you would read this? Well, you would know it's Temperance, and so that would give you some kind of idea. But you look at it from the dark and the light. You see, she's looking into the dark, but there's also light here behind her, and she's kind of got her hands in both realms, the dark and the light. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe I could read this, and there's water down here. So this is a person that's sort of combining things. Like normally we see the Temperance pouring the water to and from vessels. Here she's doing it, but she's bringing the dark and the light kind of together. And then there's the moon and the sun. This Margaret Petersen, I mean, she worked with the tarot for 20 years when she designed this deck. So, and there is a Rider Waite, not a Rider Waite, but there is there are attributes to a traditional, not traditional, but a regular tarot deck. Okay, this is Three of Flames. It's red, you color, I mean, so that's vibrant. And then she's got little details in here that you have to kind of look at. Now, there's a man here, or a statue of some kind, who looks tortured in some way, who looks like he doesn't look calm. He looks like he's going through some stuff. So you could read it like that. There's flames, and there's something that you're considering. There's something that's changing. Now, of course, threes are, as far as numerology, are change, creativity. But without creativity, you have to go through something. Creativity doesn't. You wake up, oh, and you're creative. Usually it's through a struggle. It's usually through weighing things and trying things. And I mean, being creative is very active. It's not a passive exercise. So we see that in his face. It's an active sense of trying to get something. And then here we see a drawing of something. I'm not sure what it is. And so that could be read that way. The Six of Flames, again, these are, it's abstract but not abstract. Here clearly are two people. They seem to be tangoing. They seem to be in a tango. It's interesting, and how you read this intuitively, you see the frame around the two people, and that could mean that you're concentrating on another person in some kind of way. Then of course, we have the flames. We also have a fluid flame. The flames aren't going up; they're kind of going sideways. So there's like a watery feel to this as well, not in color, but in those striations that go from left to right. Then if you look closely, there's kind of something, it looks like an animal up here. So again, this could be, and I'm telling myself, this could really be read intuitively. You could consider the Six of Flames and what sixes mean and what flames mean and all that. But you can get intuitive readings from the cards themselves. The Daughter of Feathers. There's a personage there in the air. Then there's this, if you look closely, there's like a dragon down below. And so that, what does a dragon mean to you? I don't know. To me, it's just kind of scary. But so there's a movement of dragon. There's a movement of the Daughter of Flames. There's this beautiful feather up here. Now, the Daughter of Feathers would be a sword suit, an intellectual suit. But intuitively, you would say that maybe you are in a situation, you're actively, it could be fighting a situation. There's a problem where you're in a situation that's making you think or making you work harder, because this person seems to be up in the air and kicking this dragon. And the dragon doesn't look like a happy dragon. It doesn't look like a nice person, So nice personage or whatever. So then there's that. Then again, you could read it with the blue and the white. The blue, well, the blue could mean many things. It means water. It also could mean air. Bendoff says the light blue is air and the dark blue is water. So there's some, depending on what you want to use, you would also go in for the colors. You'd look at the colors and say, well, what does this mean? And then there's these striations here. She does a lot of the framing in some ways. So again, that brings a situation that's kind of closed in. Of course, feathers is also the mind suit, so it's something in your mind that you're fighting off, but you have the energy to do that. The Daughter of Cups. Now, cups, of course, is the emotions, and it's a beautiful card. Again, you would look at this and you see the water in the center. You'd see the framing. She does a lot of this framing. It's very sometimes it's very vague, but it's definitely in there. So the framing, and then you have all these other colors in here. It looks like someone's swimming in the water. So it could be someone. Now, it's the Daughter of Cups, so it's the Daughter of Emotions. So it could be a young person who is is just diving into a relationship or a situation that she loves, or an activity that she loves. And there's white. White is air, so it could be. It's not dark. The only black is the silhouette of the woman here. So it's actually a very light card. The Two of Cups. And this is interesting. There's no blue here. There's yellow. Yellow is sun energy, according to Bendoff. Yellow is happy, cheerful, and that could be a Two of Cups. You know, it's romance. Two people, there's two faces. So it could be the beginning of a relationship. It could be two people or two things that are coming together. And it's not, it's like it's a very positive card, I would think, because of the coloration. So again, we have these two people looking at each other, so that could be part of the reading as well. So intuitively, you could take a lot from this. Six of Cups. There shows some water, but it also shows some roiling water. So this could be, it's contained, so it's manageable, but there's a lot going on here with the water, if that is water. But it's not dark. The darkness is up here. So then you could read it that way. So I guess this can be read intuitively. You know, I haven't done it intuitively, but maybe it can be read intuitively. I had a question before I started. Now I can't remember the question. It was something about my project. I wanted to ask something about my project. Oh darn! I should have written. I can't remember anything. I'm getting old. You know. I want to ask something about my project. Okay, I'll just do what's the best way to market my new book? What's the best way to market my new book? It sounds awfully mundane and silly, but I'm going to ask that question. I'm just going to pull 3 cards. What's the best way to market my book? And I think I'm going to do it the Bendoff way. I'm going to turn each one over at the same time and then try to figure out what's the best way to market my book. Best way to market my book. So now first look them over. Best way to market my book. My book should be coming out pretty soon. Oh boy, that's pretty funny. We got high numbers here. Okay, so the best thing to do, I guess, according to Mr. Bendoff, and I'm going to follow the guy who knows what he's doing, put these down here a little bit, is to look it over generally to see what's going on. It's interesting. I see a lot of color here. I see darker colors here. I see circles. I see a woman here. I see, well, the names are down here. So we have 1 major arcana. We have 1 high feathers. The mother of feathers, that's the mother of swords. Very analytical and very successful in processes of thought and communication. So that is a very good card, I would think, for marketing my book. The Knight of Flames is, of course, the wand suit, and that's fire and creativity. And that's almost completion, so numerology-wise. And there's a person here, a kind of like Buddha-type looking person. I'm thinking more thought. I'm thinking this is a thinking person. And then, of course, there's the High Priestess. Now, what the High Priestess is doing here is very interesting because I don't know what the High Priestess was doing here. High Priestess is hidden knowledge, intuition. So it could mean a lot of things. It could mean, you know, use your brain, use your creativity, and then use your intuition. All those 3 things together, you'll figure it out. Well, that's okay, but I want something a little bit more specific than that. How can I market my book? Now, I can say, if we use it, look at the first card. I mean, the middle card is the 9 of Flames. Is, you know, be creative. You're at the end of the product. You've just made the product. It's being published, and depending on how the book comes out, I should be able to publish it. Right now, it's in the. I'm looking at it to see if it needs any final edits. So 9 of Flames says keep going. You're almost finished with you are finished with the book essentially, and it's time to move on to the next step, which is the marketing of the book. So I will say that this is me right now because I finished the project. And then I have these two things supporting me. So there's intellect and intuition. These are two different things. Can they be woven together? These are very strong cards as well. So what does this mean? It means it means I have to get the word out, so I have to certainly communicate. I have to have ideas of how to advertise my work. I think this is where this is coming from. How to get it out there, what are my plans to advertise? What are my plans to get people to buy the book and then maybe review the book? And I have ideas of what to do, how to do that. But maybe it's saying, think out of the box. Maybe this high priest is saying, yeah, that's good. You know how to do, because I've written many books and I've marketed many books over the years. And this little high priestess here, this little egg lady, she's the egg lady. She's saying, think outside the box. Go inside and think outside the box. What else can you do besides advertising and giving away free copies and selling online and selling in the farmers market, selling out of your barn? What other things can you do that's something you haven't done before? So I think this card is telling me there is something that I'm missing by being overly practical, which is this card. There is something below the surface that I should find out what that is and feed that idea, whatever that is. So maybe this means, again, and I always go back to this, is like meditate, do some meditation, and ask, when you're in meditation, say, how, see myself selling the book, and see how I can translate whatever I'm getting in my meditation into reality, and maybe that will help me get my book out there. My attitude right now is the book will find its own market. It's a little book. It's just a book about humor. It's a humor book. And I'm thinking, well, it'll find its own market. I really don't have to do much, but you have to do something. This tells me I can't just let it sit around. I have to do something. I've gone this far, I have to do something. But there may be a way that's just something I've never thought of. And I don't know what that is right now. So I'm gonna check it out, and I'll try to do it once I figure out what that is. I don't know what it is. Anyways, so I think this worked well for my little question. This is the Margarete Petersen. This is How to Read Intuitively. And it's just a gorgeous deck, and it's just a very special deck where I feel every card is a major arcana. Have a great day.